If you've got weekend travel plans and are going to the airport, be prepared for long lines. Coming up on GMSA, what cancellations are happening around the country and how to see if your flight is affected.
A San Antonio mother sharing the details of her daughter's tragic death in a head-on crash. What she wants you to know before you step outside on the roads this morning.
Hey there, I'm Patty Santos here out with the Texas Parks and Wildlife. I'm currently in a hiding position out in the woods. We are taking a look at how their canine are trained. I'm hiding from Izzy to see how long it'll take her to find me.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
All right, good morning to everyone out there. Cannot wait to see that story there.
I'm intrigued.
Yes, it's very interesting. I'm RJ Marquez. Thank you very much for hanging out with us on GMSA.
Hey there, I'm Patty Santos. Happy Friday to you. Get ready for this. It's gonna get hot around here.
Yeah. Not gonna feel like November.
Get ready to sweat. You go to Friday night football games this time of year. It's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be nice. It is not going to be that way today. We're expecting some record high temperatures. So let's get right into the headlines, guys. This is, going to be the hottest place in the country today, I think. At least somewhere in South Texas will be, as records likely fall this afternoon. Now, we do get relief, but it's not until Sunday. So the cold front comes through very late Saturday night, very early Sunday morning, and then it turns very windy, and we're going to shave off about 20 degrees from our high temperature. So we do finally get some fall-like weather, but it will take until Sunday for that to happen. And then by Monday and Tuesday, our coldest mornings yet. We're expecting temperatures in the mid to upper 30s here in San Antonio. So some jackets will be necessary next week. We are on that roller coaster ride that we often take this time of year. Outside, it's not that cold. 62 in San Antonio, 59 New Braunfels, 63 right now in Converse light winds. We are watching for a little bit of fog in spots so far. Again, here in San Antonio, it has not been a problem. Rapid warm up at 10 o'clock, 73. Noontime, 83. And then we get into that record warmth by 2, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon with those sunny skies. Coming up, this is just coming in from the Texas A&M Forest Service. This is the fire danger forecast for Sunday. And we're really going to look at the details behind this because it is concerning as we get into Sunday afternoon with these gusty winds and the dry air that is headed our way. More on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. But let's go over to your traffic authority, RJ Marquez. Is traffic starting to pick up?
It certainly is, Justin, especially along the northeast side of town. Thank you very much. As you guys join us at 6:01, we want to get you out the door safely here. 48 minutes, that's going to be our biggest delay coming in from the New Braunfels area. Everything else is looking pretty good for all of our folks out there if you are about to step outside. So let's go ahead and focus in on what's going on the northeast side of town. So most of these delays is going to be due to this backup that we're seeing construction related. Basically 35 Weidner Road, Thousand Oaks area, O'Connor area as well. You kind of know the drill if you're headed down 35 south. Give yourself about some extra time. We're looking at about a 30-minute delay right now for all of our drivers headed south on 35 on that one stretch of Topperwine all the way down to Weidner Road. So Wurzbach Parkway, that's a potential option for you to exit around this activity here. So just make sure that you are going to be safe on the roads. 410 starting to see a little bit of backups. Now, fortunately, this is going to be the only backup that we're seeing at the moment, but coming up in just a little bit, we're going to be talking about your worst fest traffic forecast as we get things going out there in the city of New Braunfels. And right now we have Alex Gomez as he is at the scene of a potential incident on the east side of town. This is going to be over by Center Street, so we're going to continue to monitor this situation and see exactly what Alex finds out as he kind of comes upon some potential police activity out there. So we will check in with Alex in just a little bit as we are getting word of a potential incident involving San Antonio police. We'll get more information for you here in just a bit.
Okay, if you're flying out this weekend, the big thing on your mind is probably, will my flight be delayed or will it be canceled?
It's definitely on a lot of people's minds. It's been nearly 24 hours since we learned that the FAA is reducing flights across the U.S. by 10%. And right now you're looking at two of the country's busiest airports. That's going to be LAX in LA and Baltimore Washington International Airports. These are two of the 40 markets impacted.
Well, here in San Antonio, it is a very slightly different story. Devin Karp joins us live from San Antonio International Airport. And we know that San Antonio is not on that list, but what do travelers flying in and out of San Antonio need to know?
Yeah, so far, Patty, right over here in Terminal A, there's not too long of a line for anyone wanting to make their way through the TSA. There's a sign behind me that shows it's about a 15-minute wait. But the problem may not lie here at the San Antonio. The problem may lie if you make a connecting flight at another airport somewhere else in the country. So far, we know that the government shutdown has put a strain on air traffic controllers and their ability to work and help out different flight paths across the country, especially when they were already working long hours due to a workforce shortage in the industry. Now the FAA is telling 40 of the country's busiest airports to shut down about 10% of their flights. That list includes other airports in Texas like the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, Dallas Love Field, George Bush Intercontinental in Houston, and the Hobby Airport in Houston. Lines at the Houston airports have been reported to be hours long, and while they're only minutes here in San Antonio, the whole thing is causing some travelers to reconsider their plans altogether.
I dealt with a delay on my way here because of the government shutdowns and that, and if it wasn't for a work trip, I probably wouldn't have come.
In a statement released to us, the San Antonio airport said, quote, "While we are grateful that the San Antonio International Airport is not among the airports identified by the Federal Aviation Administration, it is possible that travelers may be impacted by reductions in service at other airports." Right now, if you head over to KSAT.com, we can show you a full list of all the airports affected. But for your individual flights, if you're flying out anytime this weekend or the next week, make sure to check the app on your phone. Whether you're flying United, Southwest, any of those other airlines, that's going to have the best information on your specific flight and whether or not it's been canceled or delayed. For now, live at the San Antonio International Airport, I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you very much for that, Devin. Well, take a look at this date right there. Today, we want you to think about November 7th, 2000. It marks the last deathless day on Texas roads. That means that every day for the last 25 years, at least one person has died on Texas highways. And that's why TxDOT launched its End the Street campaign to try and end deaths on the roads. Now, we want you to look at this young lady right here. This is one of those victims, a beloved local daughter, friend, nurse, and educator. Whitney Presas Widell died in February of 2024 in a crash that Bexar County deputies said involved a drunk driver. I sat down with her mother, who is raising awareness about the campaign and keeping her daughter's memory alive.
I have a hole in my heart now that she's not here, that she's gone too soon. And she didn't need to leave the way she did.
It's never easy for Monique Presas to discuss her daughter's death, but she does so because of the strength and spirit Whitney showed every day of her life.
She was a traveler, a nurse. She was a teacher, an educator, and she loved life.
Whitney's life was cut short on the morning of February 8th. She was driving to work on Potranco Road when she was hit head-on by a driver who Bexar County deputies said was drunk.
They tried to save her, but her injuries were just too severe. Ever since then, you're just not the same person anymore. I miss her dearly.
Monique is carrying her daughter's love for life by spreading awareness about drunk driving and taking part in TxDOT's End the Street campaign.
I want to do it just to share about her life and how unnecessary it was that she's not here. The punishment doesn't fit the crime. It's too lenient. It's not harsh enough.
What do you think your daughter would think about what you're doing right now?
I think she would be proud of me and she would expect for me to be strong. I want to share her story so that hopefully this doesn't keep happening.
And that's exactly what we did. Shared stories about their travels, family life, and Whitney's accomplishments.
She went to East Central and started teaching nursing in their CNA program. And she also taught professional nursing at UIW. And then her last job that she had, Idea School Systems hired her to write their first ever nursing curriculum.
What would be the message that you have for other families?
There's a lot of opportunities to get home safely. You don't have to drive drunk. She was an amazing daughter, very caring, very thoughtful, very kind-hearted, and she's my best friend.
And thank you very much to Monique for that. The End the Street campaign marks 25 years today. So last year, 4,160 people died in Texas traffic crashes. And here at home, there were 171 deaths, which is why TxDOT wants to spread awareness about safety and sharing responsibilities on our roadways.
This morning, the family of Savannah Soto is heartbroken and worried about what's next in their fight for justice. Now, she was a pregnant mom killed in 2023, and for nearly 2 years, we have been tracking this case. In the last 24 hours, one of the suspects arrested walked free. 2 days ago, KSAT was the first to report charges being dismissed for Mirta Romanos. She was accused of helping cover up the murders of Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn child. Last night, Avery Everett spoke with Soto's family 24 hours after they learned about this update.
What are we looking at here when Christopher does go to trial? You know, or are they going to let him go out, or are they going to give him less time, or what? We don't know.
Romano's husband, Ramon Preciado, and her son, Christopher Preciado, were also charged in connection with this case. Ramon is out on bond but faces 2 charges of abuse of a human corpse and tampering with physical evidence. Christopher is still in jail and faces multiple charges, including capital murder.
Well, in just a few hours, testimony will resume in the trial of 3 former San Antonio police officers accused in the 2023 killing of Melissa Perez. We've been streaming the trial for 20 days now, and yesterday we heard testimony from 2 of the defense's forensic experts. That would be Angelus Leilagu, a 3D forensics expert who presented his own 3D recreation of the shooting scene. His findings showed that Perez was closer to the officers when she was shot, which contradicts what was in the original police report. Then a forensic criminologist, Dr. Ron Martinelli, took the stand. He testified that the actions the officers took were justified. If found guilty, Eliezer Alejandro, Alfred Flores, and Nathaniel Villalobos all face up to life in prison. And we, of course, are live streaming this trial. You can watch it on all of our KSAT streaming platforms.
Right outside with live cam, starting to see a little bit of light on the horizon here as the sun begins to come up. It is 6:10, 62 degrees. We're also tracking the possibility for a little bit of fog. I'm starting to see some developing up there near Bernie. We're going to keep an eye on that and get you set for your weekend, which includes a lot of changes coming up.
I've always wanted to be a mascot for a team.
Okay, he leads the weather team here at KSAT, and he says God brought him to San Antonio. Ernie Zuniga's candid conversation with Adam Caskey this week on Pickup Lines. And meet some of the members of the Texas Parks and Wildlife K9 team, mostly female dogs, trained to find missing people and protect wildlife. An exclusive look at how they do it. Time right now, 6:14. Well, it's not something that you want to think about, but imagine a loved one disappearing and you're desperate to find them. That's where these dogs right here come in. Listen to this. They're one of the state's most important tools in finding lost people and tracking drugs and weapons. Texas has 9 canines who specialize in this across the state. They were here in South Texas for training, and I got to see firsthand how good they are at their job.
Meet Piper, May, and Izzy. They are part of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department K9 team. There's 9 of them spread all over the state.
Piper is a detection dog as well as search and rescue. So Piper specializes in the narcotics detection with an emphasis on search and rescue, tracking, off-lead searches, and article searches.
Izzy also does wildlife detection, so she looks for red snapper, oysters, trout, shark fin, doves, and ducks.
Our primary purpose is going to be search and rescue. Being along the border, of course, narcotics is prevalent.
As you heard, they have a nose for finding things, whether it's in vehicles, the woods, guns buried underground, and in this case, even our GoPro camera lost in the water. We wanted to see how long it would take one of them to find me.
I'm currently in a hiding position out in the woods.
I'm about 350 yards away across a body of water.
Okay, so from where I'm standing, I'm able to hear the handler yell out some commands.
We want the dogs to know that even if water's barricading them from the target, which is a missing person, we want them to be able to cross it or learn how to find their way around it.
They are trained to work in any terrain and weather. And get this, all but one are female.
We've learned from experience the female dogs tend to be a little more mature, a little more focused.
Huh, interesting. Back to the search. After circling around the pond, it took about 2 minutes for her to find me. Her prize?
Good girl.
A game of fetch.
That took less than 2 minutes. And the handlers have different commands for them based on what they want them to search. For example, if it's a person, a weapon, or something else. And Izzy helped find a missing person in Terrell Hills just a few weeks ago. Okay, this week on Pickup Lines with Ernie Zuniga, a candid conversation with KSAT's own Adam Caskey. The longtime chief meteorologist hails from Minnesota and grew up playing ice hockey in the backyard, but he doesn't miss those frigid temperatures.
That's right. Adam came to KSAT back in 2014 and quickly became a big hit with our viewers with his personality. You see him right there, KSAT Mike, and his handmade thermometers.
His passion for weather dates back to his childhood when he was just a young boy in Minnesota.
The superstorm of 1987 in Minneapolis. And it was just one of those big, severe thunderstorm, tornado outbreaks, and it just hooked me. I didn't want to be in our basement watching the coverage. I wanted to go outside. I wanted to go see it happening. I wanted to see what was going on.
You were a kid?
Yeah, I was 6 years old then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, in this episode, Adam also talks about meeting his wife on a kickball field years ago and talks about getting emotional during the recent 4th of July flooding in the Hill Country.
That's right. The latest episode of Pickup Lines premiering at 5:30 later on this afternoon and replays later on at 7:30 this evening on the free KSAT Plus app, or you can watch it right now on KSAT.com. Just search Pickup Lines.
Yeah, and right now I'm at a scene over here on the east side. This is going to be at the intersection of Olive and Center Street. This is right next to the Carver Idea Academy. And right now there was a scene that when a passerby was in the area, they did notice somebody laying on the ground and they were unsure if they were breathing. So SAPD was called out and they did verify that that person was actually a woman who had died in this area with an apparent gunshot wound to her abdomen. So in the meantime, homicide is being called out over here to the east side to get a complete investigation, but there's really not many leads. So SAPD is actually waiting for the principal of Idea Academy to come out and possibly get some security footage in this area. But until then, just know that Center Point is going to be completely blocked off by SAPD from Hackberry to Olive Street this morning, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex, covering some breaking news for us over by the Center Street area. Real quick check of our traffic before we get to Justin. Just want to let some folks know we do have some major delays right now. 410 at Starcrest is going to be all of our traffic headed to 410 and 35, affecting Nacogdoches, Perrin Bidle. You could exit Nacogdoches. That's a possible option to make your way out of this. And then 35 south over by Weidner Road, Randolph Boulevard area, still seeing some major tie-ups. This right here over by Starcrest is about a 20-25 minute delay. This is about a 30-35 minute delay over by Weidner Road. You could exit Topper Wine or Wurzbach Parkway to navigate around some of this activity. Okay, let's go to Justin right now, our Weather Authority meteorologist, and see how things are looking out there as we get set for the weekend. Justin.
And as we said off the top of the show, RJ, we are expecting to be the hottest place in the entire United States today, with highs near 90 from San Antonio down to Brownsville, and we may set some records as well. The really cold stuff is still trapped up here in Canada, but it is just about to spill south, and we're going to feel some of this as we get into Sunday, but we got to wait until then before that cold air arrives to us. So this chunk of cold air dives south. Now we get a glancing blow. A lot of the really cold stuff gets pulled east, but we do feel some of it. It'll be short-lived because by Wednesday, high pressure builds in and we're back into the warmth. So just know, really, it's kind of Sunday and Monday, a little bit of Tuesday where we'll see some of this cooler air. And then you can see that with the daytime highs. So we're near 90 next couple days, near records. And then we drop to 67 Sunday, 63 on Monday, and 72 on Tuesday. It'll feel nice on Monday. You know, we haven't had temperatures like that in a while. Wind gusts are going to be a big story, though, with this front. We're expecting gusts 40 to 45 Sunday morning. If you have inflatables, you got the inflatable turkey in your yard. I'm looking at you, Patty. Make sure you tie it down, take it inside, because these are the kind of gusts that will damage those or blow them away. It will be very, very windy for the first half of the day on Sunday, and you pair that with some very low humidity with this front that'll be coming in, and the fire danger is through the roof. We're talking extreme to very high from San Antonio points east, where you see this red color. That's where you can expect extreme fire danger, where if we see a fire, it will spread very, very quickly. So to put it all together for you, Upper 80s next few days. Cold front comes through Saturday night or early Sunday morning. Sunday will be a very different day, 67. Very chilly Monday and Tuesday morning. Coming up next half hour, we'll talk about those morning lows and how close some places here in South Texas may get to freezing. That's coming up in half an hour. And we'll have much more on this cold front as well.
All right, thanks, Justin.
Thank you very much, Justin. 62 degrees outside as we get you to 621 on your Friday morning.
Listen to this. Prince Andrew faces a new challenge. The U.S. House Oversight Committee is calling him to testify about the Epstein case, his response, and what this means for the royal family.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Royal Reckoning. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the man formerly known as Prince Andrew, receiving a request from the House Oversight Committee calling for him to appear for an interview as part of their ongoing probe into the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
We're willing to go anywhere and go to him to actually get our questions answered.
This morning, Congressman Robert Garcia, who's leading the committee, is speaking out to GMA.
Our ask is that Andrew has an opportunity right now to come clean about what he may know, about information he might have about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and about other people that could have been involved in these horrific actions and crimes. And so there is an opportunity for him to do the right thing.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll tell you how Andrew and the palace are responding this morning. With your GMA First Look, I'm Mola Lengi, ABC News, New York.
All right, time for your Just Ask Justin question. If you want to weigh in this morning, we're asking, what is the most wins the San Antonio Spurs have ever had in a regular season? Go to ksat.com/poll or scan the QR code. Brought to you by Capital Farm Credit. That answer is coming your way in about 30 minutes.
All right, time right now, 6:26, 62 degrees out there.
San Antonio is buzzing this weekend with the Veterans Day Parade and also Worst Fest in New Braunfels. Stick around to find out how the weather may shape up for some of your weekend plans.
There are flight cancellations at 40 of the busiest airports around the country, all due to the federal government shutdown. Coming up on GMSA, we're going to tell you what you need to know to make sure your flight is safe and give you a look at what's happening at the San Antonio airport.
Veterans Day Parade is this weekend, but the government shutdown even having an impact on that. We're going to tell you about it. We're also going to tell you how to get ready for that parade.
All right, and welcome to
Good morning, and I'm Alex Gomez, and I'm on the scene of where SAPD actually found a woman who died of an apparent gunshot wound over here next to Idea Carver Academy campus. So this is going to be on Center Street in between Hackberry and Olive Street, and SAPD, they do have a complete investigation underway right now with homicide to determine what happened here. SAPD is also waiting for the principal to Idea campus to hopefully get some security footage because there's not too many leads of what happened. They do know that this female who was found looks to be in her 30s. And again, she died from an apparent gunshot wound over here. So right now you can expect this Center Street to be closed in the meantime. But for now, the campus remains open, but just know that you are going to see a police presence in this area this morning, RJ.
All right, thank you very much for that, Alex, covering some breaking news for us on the east side of town. If we come back out to the traffic wall here, I want to show you real quick this area that's going to be affected by this. That's going to be the Walters area over by East Commerce, obviously New Braunfels Avenue as well. That will be some of the streets that you're going to have to kind of navigate around, and we'll continue to gather more information from Alex on what exactly is going on there on the east side of town as we continue to cover that breaking news for you on this Friday morning. Our biggest traffic delays right now is going to be over here on the northeast side of town, 410 at Starcrest. Take a look at that delay for all of our folks making their way to Austin Highway. 25-minute delay. How about our southbound traffic? This is going to be 35 at Weidner Road. We're looking at about a 35-minute delay. Stop and go traffic for all of our folks out in this part of town. Let's go to our Weather Authority meteorologist, Justin Horn, right now for a look at our forecast because we got a lot of weekend events taking place. Justin.
Yeah, and I was looking at some of your TransGuide shots there, RJ. It looks like we are seeing a little bit of fog in some of the low-lying areas. This is almost exactly what we saw yesterday. It won't have a big impact on your morning commute, but there could be a few spots where visibility drops. And we're getting some reports of a little bit of fog on the north side, mainly in those little valleys, and seeing some visibilities come down in spots and maybe a little bit up here around Bandera and north of Bernie. But for the most part here in San Antonio, fog is once again not an issue, and we're going to show it off fairly mild this morning. Temperatures in the 60s, but look where we end up. 89. If we get there, that's a record today. We will be, as I said earlier, the hottest place in the country very easily today with these kind of temperatures. Sunrise is at 6:52. Sunset at 5:43 tonight. We are awaiting a pretty strong cold front. Another update there. Plus, we're going to tell you what's going on out at Los Maples. Just got an update on the trees and the color change there. That's coming your way in just a few minutes.
Good morning, guys. I'm Devin Karp with KSAT 12 over here live at the San Antonio International Airport ahead of a busy travel weekend where there are going to be delays affecting passengers from coast to coast, all because of the government shutdown, hitting 10% of flights within 40 of the nation's busiest airports. I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at your screen right here. Here's why it's happening. The government shutdown has put a strain on air traffic controllers across the country who have already been working long hours due to staffing shortages within the industry. Now, because of that, the Federal Aviation Administration is shutting down 10% of flights across the nation, hitting 40 of the busiest airports within the country. This list includes other airports like the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, Dallas Love Field, George Bush Intercontinental in Houston, and the Hobby Airport in Houston. We've seen lines at the Houston airports that have been hours long, and while that's not the case here in San Antonio, with wait times only about 10 to 15 minutes, it's caused some travelers to reconsider traveling plans altogether.
You know, I was thinking to visit my parents in Detroit, you know, and I avoided. No, I don't want to spend 3 days or something like this, you know.
In a statement released to us, the San Antonio International Airport says, while we are grateful that San Antonio International Airport is not among the airports identified by the Federal Aviation Administration, it is possible the travelers may be impacted by reductions in service at other airports. So far, one of the best ways to find out if one of your flights has been affected is by going to the website of your individual airline. We've gone online to United Airlines and seen so far just on Sunday morning, there's been one flight into San Antonio from Houston and one flight out of San Antonio, Houston, that have been canceled. If you want to see any more of the airports, you can go to KSAT.com. That's where we've got a list of all 40 of them. Make sure to check in with your flight, and best of luck to anyone traveling out there. Live at the San Antonio Airport, I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Thanks so much, Devin. Right now, you're going to be looking at two of the country's busiest airports, MIA in Miami and Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta.
In fact, Justin just mentioned the other day that the one in Atlanta is obviously one of the busiest across the country. And again, those are just two of the airports that are being impacted. And again, we're going to continue to follow the very latest when it comes to all of the government shutdown delays and all of our flyers that are being affected by all of this. Okay, switching gears here. Today is the 30-day deadline for cities and counties across Texas to remove art walk from crosswalks.
And that includes the Rainbow Crosswalk right here in San Antonio's Pride District. The order came from the U.S. Department of Transportation back in July. Then, in October, Governor Greg Abbott enforced the order, threatening to pull TxDOT funding from cities that don't remove paintings from their crosswalks.
So the city of San Antonio requested an exemption earlier this week. Most council members do not want to see the crosswalk go, but some do want to comply with the state's directive immediately.
We should try to protect our Rainbow Crosswalk because, again, it has been decades long of people's blood, sweat, and tears, and we should respect their efforts.
We want to include everybody that wants to be a good citizen here in San Antonio. We welcome them to our city. But in terms of whether or not you need to express yourselves with a crosswalk, if it's causing a public safety risk, again, we need to do away with it, comply with what the governor has asked.
Well, now it's a waiting game to see if the exemption will be granted based on how safe the crosswalk already is. If the exemption is not granted, though, it's unclear how the city will pay to remove the paint on this particular crosswalk.
This is a quote, routine flood that happens once every 25 years. That is what took 13 lives back in June, according to a new report by an engineering firm that the city of San Antonio hired.
Well, right now, KSAT is digging into new details about the deadly flooding along Bidle Creek. You may remember all of this. Most of the bodies were found near Perrin Bidle, where floodwaters ran about 4 feet deep over part of the 410 access road. The report says that the road was built low enough to flood, and then also thick vegetation slowed the water, making it even worse. It recommended warning signs, flood gauges, and flashing lights to keep drivers safe, plus better emergency response and more sensors to spot floods earlier.
City leaders say they need state and federal help to pay for those projects and are working with property owners to clear some of that vegetation. You can read the full report. Just visit our website, KSAT.com.
Okay, and talking about this story, a follow-up here. 2 more teens involved in the death of an SAISD student have had their charges downgraded. It's a case that we've been following closely. 14-year-old Simon Cuevas was shot and killed back in April near Brewer Academy after a group followed him and then beat him up. Now, yesterday, Fernando Flores and Andrew Cantu, you just saw their photos, had their charges reduced from capital murder to injury to a child with bodily harm. The change comes after 2 other teens in the case also had their charges lowered from capital murder to assault causing bodily injury. So this means that nobody in this case is facing a murder charge at the moment. There was a 5th suspect, but he shot himself and died back in August. 6:38 right now. Suspicious package was delivered to a U.S. military base in Maryland on Thursday. Sources are saying that the package contained a white powder that made several people sick. Joint Base Andrews, just outside of the Washington, D.C. area, released a statement saying that a building was evacuated after someone opened that package. An inside source also saying the first field test did not find any dangerous substance, but the investigation is still ongoing this morning. Several people were taken to the base's medical center after coming into contact with that package. Right now, we still do not know how sick they are or what caused their illness.
Meanwhile, the Congressional Budget Office has been hacked. An email from the Senate Sergeant at Arms went out to congressional staff this week and to warn them about the breach. While the email didn't name who was behind it, a U.S. official says China is believed to be responsible. Staff were urged to be careful and not click on any links from CBO email accounts, since those accounts might be compromised. In a statement, a spokesperson said the agency has taken steps to contain the breach and is investigating what happened.
Outside with Live Cam, it is 6:39, 62 degrees. We are seeing another round of very light, patchy fog around the area. So far, not many problems here in San Antonio. If you're heading out to some of the football games tonight, it'll actually be a little bit warm. 75 at kickoff by the time the game's over. 68, a lot of good football games tonight. And, of course, big changes this weekend. We'll talk about how quickly that cold front comes through coming up.
And we're taking a closer look at traffic on the east side, northeast side right now. 410 eastbound traffic right here at Starcrest. Seeing about a 25-minute delay for all of our folks making their way to 410-35. Traffic starting to clear here at 35 South over by Weidner Road. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to give you that Worst Fest traffic forecast and also tell you about anything else that you need to know, especially on the northwest side.
San Antonio Veterans Day Parade is back, but this year some troops won't be marching. How the community is honoring veterans despite the changes. It's Worst Fest time in New Braunfels. Music, sausage, and beer take center stage. How you can enjoy free admission and all the festival fun this week.
Well, the countdown is on, and we are hours away from the start of the annual Worst Fest in New Braunfels. The 10-day festival kicks off at 4 o'clock today. So if you've ever been, you know it's all about music, sausage, and beer, rooted in the German heritage of the city. The festival began in 1961 when a local meat inspector got the idea to give the 19 local sausage makers a chance to show off their product. What started as a one-day event with roughly 2,000 people in attendance has now grown to the 10-day festival, attracting more than 200,000 people to Landa Park. So tickets are on sale online and at the gate. So the festival hours, they vary by day. Today's first Friday hours are 4 to 11 p.m. at 178 Landa Park Drive in New Braunfels. So you can get in free Monday through Thursday. Now, tomorrow's hours are from 11 a.m. to midnight and Sunday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. So Monday through Thursday hours are 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. At the gate, tickets cost about $20 on Fridays and Sundays. Saturday tickets, though, are $30. And of course, you can save money if you purchase online, where prices are $15 on Fridays and Sundays and $25 on Saturdays. Well, for more information on parking, scheduled performances, and traffic notices, you can head over to our website at KSAT.com.
And San Antonio also getting ready for the 2025 Veterans Day Parade this Saturday. This is video right here of it. I was there last year, but there's going to be a few missing service members there. We're told that active Army and Navy, which is a big part of the parade, had to cancel this year due to the government shutdown. That's about 50 troops that are going to be missing this year. But listen to this. New this year, the inaugural Veterans 5K run. The run starts at 10:30 and runs the same route that the parade runs. There's going to be a fee to run in person, but you can also do it virtually. You're going to get a medal and a t-shirt. There are about 90 entries this year. That includes high school bands, floats, equestrian groups, and VFW organizations. Veterans say it brings a lot of joy and pride to see Military City USA come out and cheer them on from the sideline.
So for us, we all remember that very first day when we all went to boot camp, did our military service, got out, and just the immense amount of pride that we have, and that I like to share with other service members. I happen to be in the Marine Corps, and this year, along with the Navy and the Army, it's our 250th birthday. That is exciting. It's fun.
And the parade starts at noon at Milan Park. It's going to go down Houston Street, turn on Jefferson to Veterans Memorial Plaza. Make sure that you bring a folding chair. You might not need a blanket. It's going to be hot, but you can head to KSAT.com for more information and times.
And right now I'm still looking at the scene on the east side where there is a woman who had died from a gunshot wound over here next to the Idea Carver Academy, and it's going to be on Center Street in between Hackberry and Olive. And check this out, more police presence. Homicide is now on scene, so the investigation is underway, and this stretch of Center Street is going to be blocked off until this investigation is over. RJ.
All right, thank you very much, Alex, for that, as we get you updated on some breaking news there in the east side of town. And coming back out to our maps to kind of show you the area that Alex is kind of focusing in on, East Houston Street, East Commerce Street. Again, this is going to be east of 37, east of the Convention Center as well. So if you're going on Walters Street, just be prepared for some potential delays. Also, New Braunfels Avenue. Now, Nolan Street's a pretty good option if you want to make your way to the downtown area or just the east side in general. So let's go to the northeast side here real quick. We are clearing some things out. 35 south over Weidner Road. That's good to go. 410 east at Starcrest. Still seeing some backups there. And as promised, real quick, Worstfest starts up later today. Opening ceremonies 5:30. Landis Park Drive. Expect some busy traffic this afternoon. Loop 337, Landis Street. That's going to be over by Walnut Avenue and San Antonio Streets as we get set to start Worstfest later on tonight in the New Braunfels area. Weather Authority meteorologist Justin Horn, how are things?
Well, we have had some patchy fog in spots, and as we look out over the city right now, you can kind of see a little bit of a haze over the city. We've had this really the last few days. It just hasn't been super impactful. The fog has been pretty light and just in some of those low-lying areas, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. With the sun coming up, any sort of fog will go away rather quickly. 59 degrees in New Braunfels, but it is 62 right now in San Antonio, 63 in Converse. So humid morning and not really all that cool. High temperatures today will be up near 90. I mean, this is record territory. This would be a record. 89 would beat the old record of 88 set back in 2005. So expect a very warm afternoon. The weekend breakdown, it'll be also warm tomorrow, near record heat. We'll get up to the upper 80s by the afternoon. But that front comes through just after midnight Sunday. And look at the difference. 20 plus degrees cooler on Sunday, 67, windy. We start off in the mid 50s, only end up in the mid to upper 60s, and Monday will be even cooler. Speaking of that wind and low humidity, that presents a very high fire danger on Sunday. That's something we'll be watching very closely over the weekend. Dew points drop all the way down into the single digits in some cases on Monday. And that means just extremely dry air before we see a rebound in humidity by the middle part of next week. This cold air mass that's going to be moving in, this is Monday that we're talking about. A lot of places will be below average. So a very cold air mass for the Great Lakes. We're feeling just kind of the outer edges of it will be about 5 to 10 degrees below average on Monday thanks to this cold front. But the bigger story perhaps will be what occurs Monday morning, down to 37 here in San Antonio. There will be some places in the hill country that get down or perhaps just below freezing both Monday and Tuesday morning. So that will be a point of emphasis. Very quickly, Lost Maples updated yesterday that they are starting to see good color there. The peak is expected within the next 2 weeks. If you want to go see it, it is a beautiful sight to see. Go make your reservations because it does get busy. Okay, 88 tomorrow. You see the cool down there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, cold mornings, but we do rebound back into the 80s by Wednesday and Thursday. Our Just Ask Justin question this morning has to do with the Spurs. Of course, they got a big game tonight after losing 2 in a row. What is the most wins the San Antonio Spurs have ever seen in a regular season? Is it 57, 63, 67, 72? 67 is the prevailing thought here. What do you guys think?
So I didn't get to vote this time. I always vote, by the way.
Good.
Busy this morning.
I'm going to go with 72. That sounds like really optimistic. That's a good number. I believe in them.
Okay, yes. The answer is 67. And they actually didn't win the championship that year.
Yes, RJ, this is you're very astute. The Spurs won 67 games in the 2015-2016 season, the most ever, but they lost in the second round to OKC. If you're curious, the all-time record for most wins in a season is held by the Golden State Warriors in that same season, believe it or not. 2015-2016 was 73 wins.
And really quickly, I want to tell people just how this information that you provide, tell them about you helped somebody win.
I ran into someone in the grocery store yesterday and they said one of my trivia questions helped them win a trivia game at one of those local bar trivia things.
He's there.
So
yeah, if you need him.
I do what I can do.
Email him.
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. I want to show you a quick TransGuide shot along I-37 now down near Browning Lake. Look at some of the fog that we're seeing now. It's low-lying fog, but we are seeing instances like this across the area this morning. So do know there could be a little bit of patchy fog. It will not last very long at all. 73 by 10 o'clock. Rapid warm-up up to a record high of 89 degrees today and warm tomorrow too, 88 on your Saturday. Then our front comes through, very windy, much cooler on Sunday, and then we get into the 30s. By Monday morning and Tuesday morning. So it will be a chilly stretch there about Sunday through Tuesday morning, and then things start to warm back up. Coming up on GMSA Plus, we're going to get you more details on this cold front and these record temperatures that we may see, guys.
All right, thanks, Justin.
Thank you very much, Justin. And in just 8 minutes on GMSA Plus, Project Marvel, once again at the center of a rally taking place later today. We're going to tell you about some of the surprising faces that may be expected to be found in the crowd later today. All right, and we're also going to be giving you an update on your Worst Fest traffic forecast. And we know we had Alex Gomez also on some breaking news on the east side of town. So yeah, we have got you all covered. GMSA Plus coming up in just a little bit.
Join us.
Gotta eat.